I believe that because that's the story. God had a son, and of course, he was the firstborn. And he wanted to be better than his father, and unfortunately, he can't be better than God. He is who he is. That's why he says, "I am who I am," and he threw down his son and let him rule earth. And if you look back at all this evil that's going on, you can't compare that evil, what's happening on earth, if it's being ruled by Satan himself, and call that God's will. That's not God's will. That's Lucifer's plan to do all this evil to the very end, when in reality he loses anyways, but he's going to think he can try, because that's what evil does. It manipulates your mind thinking you're unstoppable, even when it's being told there's nothing you can do. You just do it anyways.
Yeah, but if you knew that your son was an arsonist, would you just let him go burn down a bunch of houses?
You can't control what he does. You
Sure
don't
you
want
do.
him
Sure
to.
you can.
You don't want to. You
I
don't
mean,
want
he's
him to, and
God.
you're gonna be
I mean,
like,
what do
I
you mean
pray
you
for
can't
you,
stop
or
him?
you set up
What the
council
hell, man?
meetings and stuff. But if he doesn't show
I
up to
mean,
those council
God loves us
meetings,
so much that he's gonna he's gonna send somebody to torture us forever.
no, it's not forever. It's to a certain time when that
I mean,
No,
that
for
time
he
80
got
comes
years,
to
90
no.
end.
years,
They
100
got a way
years.
better story than that. Our
It's
story's way
whatever
better than that.
time when Jesus does comes back. No one knows, not even the Father.
But honestly, it makes no sense. I mean, if your son was an arsonist, you wouldn't just, tell him to go burn down a bunch of houses.
And in the beginning, he wasn't like that. He was good and everything was good, but evil wrapped his mind. And just like greed, that's what it does,
It
consumes
sounds like
you from your
propaganda, man. It
thought of
sounds like
what you.
propaganda. If what you're saying is true, I mean, what about, what if Lucifer realized that God was a dictator and he formed a revolution and God said,
But
"Get the fuck
that's
out."
what I'm saying, brother. In his mind, because greed
So
wrapped
God,
his
so God's a
mind,
dictator.
he's gonna look at it. No, no, that's how he's looking at it, because he wants to be better than God. So he chose to rebel.
Uh,
And just like your son, if your son started doing bad stuff, you're gonna try to look into a psych ward. You're gonna try to look into people that could possibly help him, set up meetings, but you're not gonna wrap him up in a rope and force him there. You're gonna be like, all right, let's go. But if he runs away from you, all you can do is try to maybe chase him down. But in reality, you're not gonna force him to that meeting in ropes. You know what I mean? You're gonna hope and pray and talk to him, be like, son, you need that meeting. It's for your better good. It's for all of us. The
yeah, but
family loves
if
you.
he's a danger to society, I mean, I'm going to call the authorities.
Exactly, and that's what he did.
No, he's not.
Yeah, but
God said, "I'm
Jesus was
washing my hands of
dangerous.
you."
That's why he threw him down, and the authorities is Jesus when he comes back.
Yeah, okay, so that's like me setting my son out into to society, knowing he's an arsonist, and then calling the police 20 years later.
This would never happen in
You
Buddhism, man.
you
Never.
you can't do nothing. You're gonna call the police,
I
but
mean,
your
like,
son's
why would I
gonna.
call the police
If your
20 years
son knew
later? I
you're
mean,
gonna
if I
call the
know that my
police,
son is going to do a bunch of bad stuff.
but isn't it true that your son's gonna run away? He's not gonna stay in one put. Well, he
Yeah, but
hopes
you
that the
take care of
police
the
didn't
problem
come.
like immediately.
That's what happened with Lucifer. Something happened, something went wrong, and
Yeah,
that's
but
what he
God's
did.
going
He
to call the
sent you.
police
He
20 years
sent
later.
you away. You don't want to be with me.
This
You don't
isn't
want to
what
be with
Jesus
your
even
brothers.
said, though.
I'll send you away, and that's what he did. And in order to get revenge on
Jesus said the
God,
devil was a liar and a murderer from the beginning.
that's what I'm saying. And to get revenge on God, he wants to manipulate man, because man, what he made us, was his best thing, closest to Jesus. For hell is always open, even on
Yeah, it just
Christmas.
sounds like propaganda, man. It sounds like you're in a cult.
No, brother, it's
Yeah,
just
Buddhism's
I'm
way better
27
than
years
this.
old,
I mean,
brother,
way
and
better.
I've been through a lot of stuff myself. I've seen a lot of stuff. I've done a lot of stuff, and I could have still been down that road, a really dark road, and who else wants me
But
down that
I'm
road?
not in a
Not
dark
God.
road, though. I'm not in a
Satan.
dark road.
No, what I'm saying is
Me neither.
I
I have
used to
Buddha.
do that stuff, and I was on a very dark road, and I could still be in that way. And the only person who would want me continue going down that dark road is Satan himself, because then I continue
The
being
Buddha can
his
help you.
and hurting people.
Why are you saying that?
What do you mean? That's the road that I would have been taken if I didn't find a better alternate route. And that's what I did. I found a better
That was a
alternate
road you would
route.
have taken. You would have taken that road.
If I didn't find a better alternative
I,
route and stayed
I'm
in
taking
one
the road to
lane,
Buddha as
it would have
well.
been a bad route.
There's a
Yeah,
better route.
I think you should. I think you should just taken a different road.
I just told you that's what I did, so I stayed off the bad route.
Well,
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with the route I'm on.
I'm not saying for you, brother. I'm saying for in people that are going on bad routes, that are doing bad things, there's a better route and a better life you can live. And the only person that wants you to go down that bad route and make bad decisions and hurt people and get you in a place where you're just there and everybody looks at you like, are you okay? Is Satan himself, because then he has you in his grasp.
Yeah, likely story. I don't know, man. It sounds like you're in a cult and you need some help.
Can I ask something?
How
Sure.
does this, hold on. So I understand your point of thinking. How does it sound like I'm in a cult by just saying I choosing a better route than living a dark route is being in a cult?
Are you familiar with something called the BITE model?
Bite model?
Yeah, BITE.
Go for it. Explain it, please.
It's categories that we kind of go through to figure out if somebody is a cult leader and or in a cult.
But that
All right,
doesn't
but it's called the
explain.
BITE.
It doesn't
It's called the
explain
BITE
why you
model.
see what I said.
No, give me a
in
second.
proof.
Give me a second. It's called the BITE model. It starts with behavior, the B, okay? Behavior. This category explores how manipulative groups regulate and dominate their members' actions and behaviors through strict rules, rewards, and punishments, limiting individual autonomy. The I in BITE. Examining the tactics of manipulative organizations to control information flow through censorship and propaganda, restricting members' access to outside perspectives. The T in thought focuses on psychological techniques used by such groups to shape beliefs and attitudes, suppressing critical thinking and promoting conformity. Now we're at the E in BITE. It explores how manipulative organizations manipulate emotions, fostering dependency and loyalty through love bombing, guilt, and fear based indoctrination. You're in a cult.
God,
Brother, I'm
sounds
by
just like
myself.
Christianity.
I don't
Not
go to no
Buddhism, though.
churches because I understand God doesn't work in four walls.
Every
I
single
have
cult you
I
can
have
name,
no
every single
problem.
cult you name off, I want you to name off 3 cults. All 3 of them follow the same model as Christianity.
I have no problem hearing what you said. That's why I'm on here, because I believe you have your point of view and I have mine. I don't even go to church because I understand
Does your
evil works
religion
within
teach
the
you to put
churches.
your religion in front of everything else, including your family?
No, I believe that you love God and you love your wife and you love your kids. You don't. There's. If I had to save
Which
my
one do you
wife, I'm
love
gonna
most?
save my
Which
wife.
one do you put at the top, though? Which one do you put at the top, though?
I love Jesus Christ.
So, well, I mean, I'm a
Yeshua.
Buddhist. I praise Buddha, obviously, but I read the Bible and man, I found it really concerning what Jesus actually said a lot of times. Like, are you aware that there's a chapter? I think it's Mark chapter 15, where Jesus chastises the Pharisees because they're not putting their disobedient children to unalignment. Like, what would you think about that?
a lot of people, even still, they read the Bible 100 times, and just like a good movie, there's always something that is missed, or like, wow, I didn't even, because you went through life or something that was connected to that, you're like, wow, I didn't even see that before. There's always something that's very misinterpreted by either sides, even the people that say they know the Bible.
Well, sure, but I don't think I misinterpreted it. I mean, that's what it says. He says you're putting the tradition of man above the law of God, and the law of God says to put disobedient children to unalignment.
Do you mind continue reading, or just that part? Because when you always read continually, you would understand that he was comparing it to when the pharaohs were just killing the firstborns for no reason.
God did that too in the Bible. That was another thing that scared me. Actually, that's why I went to Buddhism, because this God seems terrible
Because you got to
sometimes. I mean, he just
understand,
seems really, really
a
bad.
lot of people want to get mad when something inconvenient happens in their life and just blame God automatically, within not realizing that
I'm talking about in the
every
Bible, though.
action has a consequence for what you do in this
Sure, but
life,
I mean
whether
in the
it's good or
Bible.
bad. There's actions, there's consequences, whether that'd be a good one or
But
a
like
bad
God
one.
hardened the Pharaoh's heart, so he wouldn't let the Israelites go. Like, this is one of the concerning things about God that we think makes him a bad guy. Is he does stuff like that. Like, he controls people and then
Yeah,
punishes
he'll
them for
work through
having
the
been
bad and
controlled.
through the good to have what he needs to be done, because if you realize, he had his people let go also at the same time.
Well, I mean that
Exactly. I
time,
mean,
and
that's a
even
good point. And I'm glad you admitted that you don't have free choice or free will.
Oh, no, you have free will. I'm saying God is going to work through good people and bad people for what the plan he has preserved.
So if he has a plan, you don't have free choice or free will, because it's going to work out according to his
Oh no,
will.
you have
That's
you have free choice. That's
Ephesians
why we're on
1:11
here,
says
though.
that.
That's what
Ephesians
free will
1:11
is.
says that.
Why are you on here right now, though? That's your free will of
we
choice to
was
be on
literally
here.
we literally just used a story where God manipulates free will. He
If
hardened the Pharaoh's
he
heart,
can,
so he
if he
would not
wants
let
to,
them
for his
go.
plan,
He
because
made
he
it
is who
happen.
he is.
Well,
But
he
other
manipulated
than
their free
that,
will,
he's
though.
gonna let play
You
out
don't have
whatever
free
plays
will.
out, just like why you're on here now. You have
No,
this free
he's
will
making it play
choice to
out
be on
how
here.
he wants. That's why he's bad. Like, the Pharaoh didn't just choose to do that. God made it all happen.
No, brother,
What do you mean?
why
No,
are
it
you
says
on?
it. It
Listen,
says he
listen,
hardened the Pharaoh's heart so they would not let them go. It's in Exodus chapter 4.
and guess what? And they got let go, right? And just like the people, the African Americans that were
After
enslaved as well, it goes round and round. All this is
after
a
all
purpose
the
for a
children were
bigger plan.
unalive.
So we realize not to do
After
that stuff. And just like I said, brother,
the
you
plagues
have a
and
reason.
boils
You
and stuff.
chose your mind and your body to watch this dude, this gentleman, this awesome gentleman in front of you, and be like, you know what? I want to talk to this gentleman. I want to talk to other people. You chose that free will to
Well, I
do
want to
that.
talk to you too. You need Buddha.
Oh yeah,
You need
that's what I'm
Buddha.
saying. You're talking to everybody. That's the free will you chose. Just like
Yeah.
I was
Well,
like, I saw this
I'm
dude
talking to
and I
you
said,
right
you know
now.
what? I just want to talk to this gentleman. I chose my free will to talk to this gentleman. It's all
What if
free
God
will,
made me do
and
this?
if you want, just like your kid, you're gonna let your kid play with all his
Yeah, but
toys and
if
all
this
that.
is a part of God's plan, then I mean, we are doing what he wants us to do.
Yeah, you have that choice to either be with
No,
him
if
and
it's a part of his
understand.
plan, we are doing what he told us to do, or what he's making us do.
No, that's what the free will is, brother. You have a choice. You
If it's
can
a
do
part of his
whatever you want
plan,
to do, brother. That's the whole thing.
oh, so okay, so I have the ability to change God's plan.
If you want to do what you think you want to do, go for it. Just like why you're making this whole live.
But
That's
is
awesome
that going
that
to
you're doing it.
change God's
You're
plan?
you're choosing to make this. And I think it's freaking awesome that you're doing it. But understand that there's
What
people like
what
me
does Ephesians
that
1:11 say?
has no
I mean,
problem
what does
talking to you.
Ephesians 1:11 say?
That's where it
Go.
says,
Huh?
I think it doesn't depend on human will or exertion. Or wait, no, that's in Romans.
I mean, everything is
Maybe it's the one that
predestined and
says,
works out according to God's will.
Yeah,
oh,
to
yeah,
his
so
plan. All of this whole thing is his plan.
So everything works out according to his will. So I mean, you're not going to.
Yes.
So you can't change the plan.
No, yeah, his plan is his plan.
Everything works out according to
exactly.
God's will.
He's not
That's what
letting
I'm
things
agreeing
play
with you,
out.
but
He has a plan.
understand that you have a choice and free will. Just the reason why you made this
If
podcast, that was a
everything
choice
works
you
out
made.
according to his, if everything works out according to his will, how are you going to change it? How do you change that?
You don't. That's his
His
plan. You're
will's
not
bad.
bigger than him.
It's
There you
bad.
go.
How's that bad?
His plan's bad.
How's that bad? You're choosing the choice to make
Because it's unjust.
free content, right?
It's
You
not,
made this
no,
a free
It's not a
content.
choice if it's part of his plan. If it's part of his plan, that's not a choice. That's called an illusion of choice.
And even if
Brother,
it was a choice, it's coercion. It's either love me or
brother,
burn. Like,
you can
you
either
can't.
choose
That's
to be
not a free
with him
choice. You're
or choose to
influenced.
not be with him. And in this life, you have consequences for your actions. That's point blank. And people don't want to look at it like that and try to read past
Oh,
more than the book offers and
we're
try
talking
to
about God,
Don't
though.
you
try
think
to
that God
keep
uses
going
some
with it.
people as an example?
If he wanted to use somebody, he can use somebody. That's why he says, I am who I am. He's the one that made us. So just like you made your son. If your son was playing with Hot Wheels, you're
Yeah,
choosing to
I'm
let
not
him play with
God.
Hot
But I'm
Wheels.
not
But if
God.
you didn't
But
want
I'm
him to
not
play with
God.
Hot Wheels, you would take it away, no?
Yeah, but I'm not God.
Who does God?
But what I'm saying is you made your son. If he was playing with Hot Wheels, you would let him. But if you chose not to let him play
But
with
him
Hot Wheels,
playing with
you
Hot
can
Wheels is
take
not
that
a part
away
of my
from him.
plan, though. Him playing with Hot Wheels is not part of my plan.
This always ends up on people and not God, by the way.
You're looking past what
AMC,
I'm saying
we're
because
talking
you're
about
trying not to
God.
look at
We're
it, and
saying
that's
God
fine.
is doing bad stuff, and you're trying to make it about human consequence. But we're talking about what God is doing. God is the bad guy.
That's the thing
God
of
is
free
doing
will,
horrible,
brother.
horrible things.
You can
No,
choose to kill
God is
somebody
choosing
right
these
now if you
things.
want to, but there's a consequence for your action. That's it, point blank.
I'm not talking about us. We're talking about
No,
God.
how does that have to do with God if God gave you free will?
There is
My
no free
man,
will.
the topic is God is the bad guy, not people are the bad guy. We all know there's bad people out there. We're giving examples of God doing horrible
But you're
things. That's why we was
blaming what
talking about
people
God
do onto
hardening the
God.
Pharaoh's heart. That was an evil thing to do because he
You're
controlled him and a
blaming
whole
what
bunch of children.
evil people are doing
I'm
on
reading
earth,
it.
and you're blaming it on God,
It's what
saying, "Why
God
is God
did. It's
allowing
what
this
God
happening?"
did. It's what God did.
If Satan
All right.
rules
Well, hey,
earth and he is the prime of
I'm
all
gonna
sorts
read
of
something to
evil.
you real quick. All right. I'm gonna AMC.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna
go
read the
for it, brother. Go
definition
for
of.
it.
I'm gonna read the definition of free will to you. Okay. The power of
Yes.
acting
Oh, I
without.
know what
Yes.
The
free will
power
is.
of acting.
I don't need that
Listen,
read to me.
please, man. Listen.
Shh.
The power of acting without the constraint of necessity or fate. The ability to act at one's own discretion. I'm going to read it one more time, but I'm going to highlight a few words, okay? The power of acting without the constraint of necessity or fate. Do you have constraints?
Boo.
No,
You don't have
Yes,
any
you
constraints
do.
to your life.
I don't. I'm not chained to nothing.
You do.
You are constrained to a lot of things. There's a lot of things you can't do. You're a
A lot.
human.
If I wanted to make a choice right now, I could. Whether that's to hurt somebody, whether it's to
Can't.
make food, I have that free will of choice. Just like I have the free
Can
will
you
of choice to talk to
can
you.
you stay underwater infinitely?
That's what the consequence of that action is. If you
No,
stay
it's a
underwater,
constraint. It's a
It's not
constraint.
free will.
if I choose
Then it's not free
to
will.
go in the water and hold my breath, I have that choice to hold my breath. No one's holding me under the
All I'm
water
saying
except
is
for
it's a
myself.
constraint. It's a constraint. Okay? Do you
You're putting a
experience
block in
necessity?
front of a
Do
barrier,
you
and it makes
experience
no sense.
necessity? Do you experience necessity?
You're putting a block in front of a sentence, and it makes
No,
no
do
sense.
you
If no
experience
one's holding
necessity?
me under a free will choice I make, how is that a constraint? I made that
Do
choice
you
in the free will.
experience necessity?
Coercion.
Do you experience
Coercion.
necessity?
Ask the question in a better way, because you're just literally putting a block in the sentence,
Can
brother.
Or
I have a really good example I use for this. So, listen real close, Am. So, you make this comparison. In the United States, here we have a constitutional right called free speech, right?
Yes,
Now,
sir.
when it says free speech, there is a few caveats. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this is whatever 100%. But anyway, the idea is that you can say whatever you want about the American government, and they cannot do squat about it.
Right.
That is why it's free speech. Is
Yes,
because
sir.
you can say whatever you want, absolutely free of the consequence.
Free will. Yes, sir.
So, if God says either love me or burn, that's your choice. You
Yes, sir.
did not, by definition, make a free will choice or action because your
How
choice was
you're
influenced.
no, because you have a choice to choose bad or good, and you chose blue instead of red or red instead of blue. You made a
Love me
choice.
or burn. Love me or burn.
That's your choice. You can do
I
whatever you
know,
want in
but
this
there's
life, but when
quite
you pass
a
away,
big coercion
understand there
there,
was
isn't
a
there?
listen. You can do whatever
There's
you
a
want
pretty
in
big
this.
consequence.
Listen, brother. You can do whatever you want in this life. You have all power to it. But in the next life, understand for the consequences you made for all the actions you chose in this life, there is a consequence. Just like if you had a kid and he chose to spill the
Exactly.
apple
Then
juice.
it is not free will. By definition, that's not free will. You heard the definition. It's a
Yes, it
choice
is.
made
You
free
made all
of
the choices you
consequence.
want in this
Free
life.
speech is speaking free of consequence.
You
Free
did all
will
what
is
you
making
wanted
your
in this
choice
life,
free
whether
of
it was to do
consequence.
coke, fuck bitches, or live the best
No.
life you wanted. You made all the choices.
Oh my
Nobody
goodness.
influenced. You decided to do all that stuff. Just understand there's consequences for every action. You can't get mad later and
Okay,
be like,
fine,
oh, well, I
whatever.
didn't know.
All right.
When clearly you understood in
Okay,
this
that's
life.
yeah.
I have no
That's great,
hate
man.
for nobody.
So,
I'm glad.
yeah, that's it, man. Awesome.
oh man.
Well, thank you.
I was gonna try one more time and then say you can have this dude back. Like it's not.
Well, thank you.
It's going right through one ear and
Love you.
gushing out the other one.
Yeah,
I love you,
my
too.
daughter
Who loves you,
just
too?
made me eggs and toast.
Oh, let me get a bite.